What's up, guys? Welcome to MD Access Episode 2. E3 has ended. I will be talking about my most anticipated games and all that stuff that were announced in a different video, so expect that later. First of all, this was announced a little while ago, but I wanted to talk a little bit about it, is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is postponed until 2018, spring most likely. A lot of people were expecting Red Dead Redemption 2 to be coming out at the end of this year, and I mean, I think even Rockstar had said fall 2017 or something like that in their trailer, and it was like, at least I was like, what? It's not very characteristic of Rockstar to announce something and then postpone it. Usually Rockstar doesn't announce anything until they're ready. If they're just gonna keep improving on what we've already been seeing, by all means take your time, Rockstar, with Red Dead Redemption 2, because it's looking really good. I really cannot wait for this game. Rockstar says that this outlaw epic set across the vast and unforgiving American heartland will be the first Rockstar game created from the ground up for the latest generation of console hardware, and some extra time is necessary to ensure that we can deliver the best experience possible for our fans. Apparently they promised that there would be more news during this summer. They've rarely ever been at E3, so I wasn't really expecting anything Red Dead Redemption 2 related in E3. So I don't know, we're still in the summer, so maybe sometime July, August we'll hear some more about Red Dead Redemption 2. I really hope I don't look shiny. If I do, it's because I'm super hot. I've got this huge light in front of me, and then I've got like blankets on my walls for soundproofing, so I'm like and then I've got the vents closed so that you can't hear the air conditioning. Oh my goodness. So if I just pass out right now, let's do it for the views, yeah? So there's gonna be an event that I want to mention to you guys in case you guys want to go. Actually, Penka Kuneva, composer of various video games, Prince of Persia. She was an orchestrator on Overwatch, on Gears of War 3, Need for Speed, Dragon Age 2, Bloodborne, and even films. So she is a great composer, great orchestrator, and just a really awesome person in general. I interviewed her, I believe, like a year ago, but yeah, she's going to be one of the composers that are going to be performing live. So if you could go to this, is going to be at the Los Angeles Theater. A bunch of other composers are going to be performing their music live. If you could go, let me know if you went, and just let me know how awesome it was, because I think this is going to be pretty freaking epic. And now this piece of news has me so, like, excited and just a bit in shock. Like, I was like, oh my god, is this going to be a total flop? Or is it gonna be like an exciting thing for the gaming industry? Atari has officially confirmed that they are working on a new console. That is huge. For you young people, and not like us old farts that actually remember the Atari, the 2600, the Jaguar, the 5200. Atari is a big deal. Even though they sunk hardcore in the 80s, they were still like, they were one of the leading consoles, home entertainment consoles in gaming during the 80s, during the boom of video game consoles, home consoles. There was literally like 20 consoles all at once in the market, but Atari was always leading it. And they never really made a comeback. After Nintendo, they were just like, oh, whatever. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this website appears. It's called AtariBox.com. People were like, what is this? Is this a joke? All you see is this 20-second trailer. It's like this camera panning over this wooden panel and the very iconic vent that the Atari 2600 had. So the CEO of Atari gave an official interview to VentureBeat. I'll have the link in the description if you want to see that. A lot of people didn't really believe it. They were like, yeah, right. Then the Atari Twitter account tweeted saying, yeah, this is for reals. Even then people doubted it. Finally they did an interview and the CEO says, yes, this is real, Atari is working on a new console. The codename is Atari Box. It's PC based, and the design and the hardware haven't been finalized, so that's still being worked on. I'm not keeping my hopes too high, but this is huge. It's huge. Their last console was in '93, which was the Jaguar. So that's what? How many years? Can I count? No. 2017 minus 1993. 24 years. Let's pretend that I didn't even check the calculator. How many years was that? 24 years. Whoa. Power to Atari for holding on for so long, and especially with the history that they had during the video game crash of 1983 in North America. Oh my god, they just went. So here's a little something to think about. Blade Runner. In the original Blade Runner, there was a scene where the Atari logo could be seen behind Rick Deckard. During the movie's release in 1982, Atari was still around and hadn't crashed and burned yet. So this scene wasn't very significant because during the 80s, imagining a future without Atari would be, I'd guess, like imagining a future without Apple. But here's the interesting thing. Blade Runner was released in 1982. But takes place in 2019. Atari crashed shortly after the movie's release in 1983, and now we're seeing evidence of Atari's return in 2017, 2 years before the original Blade Runner takes place. Could it be that Atari maybe felt inspired, compelled, or even destined to be around again by 2019, to live up to Ridley Scott's vision of a future where Atari was still around? And not just around, but thriving. Because in the new movie, Blade Runner 2049, one of the first scenes we see in the official trailer is of a vehicle flying between two enormous and luminous Atari logos, much larger than in the first film. So coincidence or not, one thing's for sure, Atari is back. Do you think Atari has it? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, ooh, Pakemi says, hey MD, maybe you should talk about the Netflix, the Witcher Netflix series. Perhaps addressing the inclusion of Sapkowski and the fact that it's not going to be based on the games. Richard Pepin also says, hey MD, I was wondering what your thoughts are on the recently announced Witcher Netflix series. Do you think it can be adapted without using any material from the games and sticking to just the books? What about casting? You can see I've been reading the books. I haven't finished reading the books. I'm excited, but I'm not like expecting it to be amazing. I'm excited because it's going to be on Netflix, because Netflix could take all the risks, and you know, The Witcher, it deserves a platform like that. They already had tried doing a Witcher series a while back, and it didn't do well. But now that they have 3 games plus the books, I think it has a bigger chance of being better. As much as it won't be, or it might not be based off of the games, still having the games there as reference to see what worked and what didn't, that's a good thing. Having Sapkowski, the author, as a consultant would be really good. I would love that. But I know that Sapkowski didn't really like the games, I believe, if I remember that correctly. I would love for CD Projekt Red even to be a consultant on the Netflix series. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would love for them, because they really understand that world. They understand how to bring it to the screen. The books do a really good job about it, but one thing is reading it and imagining it, and another thing is actually seeing it on screen, and I think they did a good job about that, about putting picture for you on the screen and having it work. When it comes to casting, Jesus. If it's not like some epic actor that just kills every role that he's in, I would say get someone new, like somebody that knows how to act, but not a familiar face. But you know what I would love, like absolutely love? And Doug Cockle, the voice of Geralt, was actually tweeting about this as well, and he was like, I would love to have a role in the Witcher Netflix series. He's like, obviously not as Geralt. He doesn't look like Geralt. but I would, I mean, I would love to hear his voice. He was asking the fans, who do you guys think I could do out of the other characters, not Geralt? And I was like, man, wouldn't it be funny, or wouldn't it be awesome if you played Vesemir? They make him look a little bit older and makeup and a wig and all that. As for the other characters like Triss and Yennefer and Dandelion, they're so ingrained in my mind when I've seen them in the game. I see those faces when I'm reading, except for Dandelion. Dandelion I kind of see differently, and I prefer the Dandelion from the books, even though he's just so vulgar and you're like, wow. Like, he actually has followed Geralt on a lot of his adventures. I really hope they base Dandelion for the Netflix series off of the books. So here's my question to you guys. If you were to cast Geralt, who would you cast for the role? But yeah, just email me here. Only email me here for any suggestions for MD Access. It just keeps things organized and easier for me. So Pakemi and Richard Pepin, thank you so much for your suggestions, for your emails. Look how freaking gorgeous. Oh my god. And look at, this is all thanks to the ever awesome Nick Sadler at Zenderquai. He has done the beautifulness with my logo. Everything, all the 3D gorgeousness of my logo that I'm so happy about and so proud of, and just so... I'll have the link in the description if you guys want this as your wallpaper or as your phone. The phone one works for the tablet as well. I wanted to share that because I'm so proud of it. It just looks so good. I love it so much, and I'm just so happy with it. So yeah, if you guys want it, check the links in the description. I've been wanting to play this game for so long. It came out during August 2016. I played it in May because I believe that was when it was free on PlayStation Plus. The game was developed by Giant Squid Studios and published by 505 Games for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It's considered to be an adventure simulation game. It looks like this vast world, but they're really just rooms, so to speak. So you're very limited. And sometimes it even had systems that reminded me of like racing games. Not really racing against somebody, but more of like circuits. It kind of reminded me of Wave Race 64, or like in Star Fox, where you're flying through and you have to go through the rings, these rings, to get more points. Speaking of Wave Race, did you know that Wave Race 64 was originally developed as a futuristic speedboat racing game? The speedboats would change form by retracting or expanding themselves, like Transformers or something. That they should have kept it that. Oh my god, they should have kept it that. That would have been like my favorite game of all time. Wave Race was also the successor to F-Zero.
Show me a move!
Anyway, you know that feeling when you hear so much about something and people just are talking so good about it, and they're just like, oh my god, it's so good, you have to see it or you have to play it. So you play it and you kind of expect to have like this mind-blowing experience, but then it's kind of like, meh. I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually really gorgeous. It's a gorgeous game. You know when you're like, okay, I get it. You know, like you're experiencing something and someone's telling you how to do something, right? They keep telling you and you're like, no, I got it. And then they keep telling you and you're like, I got it. Like, seriously, just leave me. And you start to get bored with it. That's kind of how I felt with Abzu. You get the point very early on. It's a way to connect you to nature. It's a symphony to nature and life, creation, the connection between us and nature and life and all that. I appreciated it. It's a short game. It's not long. So after the first 20 minutes of the game, it really presents to you what the game is, and then it just kind of starts to repeat itself. And you're just like, this is the same system that I just finished playing, just a different color type of thing. Abzu is definitely a nice change from the usual kill the bad guys type of game. It's very heartwarming to play a game that celebrates life, creation, and living in harmony with nature. I got the point of what the game was focusing on and even appreciate the educational value the game has. I wish you could interact more and not just go along for the ride. Playing Abzu really made me think of the question many gamers and non-gamers alike have asked for a while now. Are games art? Abzu is a brilliant showcase of colors, style, and craftsmanship. Many times I couldn't help but smile because what I was seeing made me appreciate the beauty that a lot of us can only imagine exists in this world. It was inspiring and even hopeful. Abzu is a beautiful way of interacting with an idea that praises the coexistence of life. So to me, yes, Abzu is art. But I think the question we should be asking ourselves instead is it a game? First of all, let's get some definitions out of the way. Play. To engage in activity for enjoyment and recreation rather than a serious or practical purpose. Game. A form of play or sport, especially a competitive one played according to rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck. Art. A diverse range of human activities in creating visual, auditory, or performing artifacts, expressing the author's imaginative or technical skill, intended to be appreciated for their beauty or emotional power. So now let's talk about telematic art. Telematic art is a type of artistic expression that uses different types of technology as its medium. And according to Roy Ascott, a British artist of the 50s and 60s who worked with cybernetics and telematics, he referred to telematic art as a transformation of the observer into an active participator. So telematic art is almost never complete because it's constantly processing, it's constantly changing on a digital screen. So I believe that video games are probably telematic art. Lately, more developers, especially the indie developers, are delving into the realm of games being art. For example, that gaming company that made Journey and Flower, Giant Squid Studios that made Abzu. Games like Abzu and Journey wouldn't really fall under the category of being a game because there really isn't a fail state. In many cases, there's not really a feeling of peril, and even if there is some kind of like instance where you feel like you are in peril, you can't really die in the game. Some of these games have puzzles, but they never are timed, so there's really no consequence. You don't really have to base the puzzle solving on any skill. These games usually focus more on what you're seeing and what you're feeling. As much as the game is guiding you along for the ride, it never really suggests how you should be feeling. Usually games have dialogue, the soundtracks will change given the mood so that it's easier for you to understand that you are in danger or this is a dramatic scene. These types of games, the soundtracks, as lovely as they are and as emotional as they could be, they never really change. It's almost always the same song just playing. The music never tells you what's going on and never tells you how you should be feeling. There's no dialogue. It's not telling you anything. It's not explaining it. And that's what is so much at heart artistic. That game company that made Journey referred to it as being an experiment. Experiments like these don't really test your skill, reflexes, or hand-eye coordination. These experiments are to test your imagination, simply to provoke an emotional response, a spiritualistic type of feeling, or a reflective response. They're like dream simulators. But is this a good thing? I think it is, because gaming as a media for many has this negative stigma. A lot of gamers are identified as being violent, loud, lazy, immature. So having projects like these that showcase life as something so much more than what you are usually used to seeing it as, reminding us that there is a connection there, that the gaming industry could communicate that kind of thing. That's something to be proud of. A lot of people say that aren't fond of video games, you should go outside and experience life. But you know what? The majority of us do. A lot of us, even though we joke about it, we're not hermits. We go outside and listen to the crows. We know what a beautiful day is. So that's not what these games do. They don't have you experience what you could already experience by just going outside. They don't replace this. Very few things do. They stimulate this and this. And you know what? A lot of us need more of that in our lives. As much as we should go out there and experience the world for ourselves, it's just as important to escape it and remember what life is and how it makes us feel spiritually and intrinsically, and not just as members of a society. Going to work 9 to 5, always rushing, not getting enough sleep, not eating well, stress, exhaustion, overwhelmed by how cruel the world could be. Triggering our imagination every now and then is just as important. Therapeutic even. So I think games like these are a great new category for the medium. They're experiences or experiments that take advantage of one of the best interactive platforms in media today, gaming platforms. And they don't take a gamer to enjoy them. Anyone can experience and enjoy the stimulation of one's senses, emotions, and imagination. So even though these games or experiments may not be games, they're still interactive experiences. They may not test our skills or pose much of a challenge, but they do help us with something that's also very important. They encourage us to stop, take a deep breath, and just escape to the depths of our imagination.